Anti-government protesters are rallying again in Bangkok. Their demands haven't changed. They want an end to controversial royal defamation laws. They also want 4 protest leaders denied bail under the lèse-majesté law to be released. Around 60 activists have been charged over the past 3 months, and they could be jailed for up to 15 years. Saksith Sayasomba joins us live now for more on this story. Saksith, why is there such a heavy police presence?
The police is definitely anticipating a lot of crowds coming here, but they also want to show that they are not tolerating enough dissent anymore after we have seen waves and waves of protests in the past year against the government and also for political reform. Now, this is the first big major rally of this new year after the protest leaders have called for a break in between the years, not only because of the new surge of COVID-19 cases, but also there seems to be, at least behind the scenes, some sort of fatigue behind the scenes as well, but now reinvigorated by recent events, not only by the fact that 4 of their co-protest leaders are now detained in pre-trial detention and charged for lèse-majesté, for royal defamation, but also many other things, especially for the not advancement, the lack of progress in the constitutional amendments in parliament, and generally that the government has not handled the current surge of COVID-19 cases very well. These are 3 factors, these are 3 linked to 3 demands of the protesters, and that's why they're still back here out in the streets.
And Saksith, after the detention of those 4 activists, protesters have evidently called for a new mass protest. Is this the return of a new wave of protests then?
At least that's what they are touting. It remains to be seen whether or not it will be a return, an immediate return to the mass protests that we have seen over the past few months. Because right now behind me, in front of the Bangkok Arts and Culture Center, yeah, the plaza is full, but the numbers right now, it's still not near the mass numbers that we have seen in the mass protests last year. Now, they are also taking cues from neighboring Myanmar. Maybe you can hear in the background some pots and pans being banged in the background to chase out the so-called dictators. There are also people that are protesting against the coup in neighboring Myanmar as well. So there are also some sort of alliance between the 2 countries, between 2 people that are feeling being suppressed by the current political system in their respective countries. But on the other hand, it remains to be seen whether or not this will be a full return or not, because you have to keep in mind the lèse-majesté, the law for royal defamation, has been reactivated and has been used in full force against the protest leaders. Some 60 people have already been charged, 4 have already been detained, and the threat of up to 15 years in jail per offense hangs very high. Just recently, last month, we had a record sentence of 87 years against a woman for sharing clips online. It has been halved after her confessions. One can only imagine that if the full brunt of the law is being applied to them, how harsh these penalties can be against the protesters who want to not only a wholesale reform of the whole political system, but also reforms of the monarchy.